Hello, we're back, and this is a short review of quite an old game. It's called Wallenstein, and yeah, we've got the big box version, and I think it was released in 2002. I think the first edition. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be giving you a brief overview of the rules, and then we'll be telling you what we do like, what we don't like, and then we'll tell you whether or not it's relevant or worth playing in 2019. So we're going to run up the staircase for no reason whatsoever, and we'll be back after this.
Board games 4K.
So Wallenstein, I mean, this is sort of like it's a mixture between area control and like a war game, but it's not really that at all. It's a bit of everything. So what you're doing, you've got these 10 action cards, and these 10 actions are going to be in each round, and it's played over 2 years with 4 rounds, 4 seasons in each round. In winter, you're going to have a scoring round. So there's two years, 2 scoring rounds. So you play half the game, have a scoring round, and then the other half, right? And you get points for building buildings, controlling regions. That's about it, really. So what you're doing, you randomly put out all these cards in a certain order. There's 10 actions you're going to take, and then when you take control of a county, you'll take the corresponding county card. And you have a hand of county cards and a hand of money cards, and you'll be putting on your player board, you've got the 10 spaces which correspond to these 10 actions that you put out randomly, right? So you'll be putting the county cards onto your player board over the top of these actions, and when the action comes up in that sequence that you've laid out randomly on the board, you'll turn over the county card and you'll take the action in the county that you've put on the board, right? And you've also got a bid for turn order space where you've put one of your money cards, and that determines who goes when, right? You're going to be building trading houses, which give you 1 point in winter. You could be building churches, which give you 2 points during winter. You'll be building palaces, which gives you 3 points during winter. There's 2 options to attack, which means you'll move into an adjacent territory and then throw cubes into the cube tower for your attacking force and your defending force, and any cubes are in the cube tower tray. You can reinforce multiple amounts of cubes from your reserve, and you can move into an adjacent space and then reinforce with 1 cube and then move any number of those cubes from that space you just reinforced into an adjacent space. And you can also get wheat, and you can also tax a region, and each region, each county gives you different amounts of money or different amounts of grain, right? But if you do that, you're going to be putting a revolt marker into that county, and then that means that ups the ante when certain things happen, and peasants, which are represented by green cubes, may revolt and make life difficult for you. So yeah, at the end of the second year, you're going to have a winter scoring, and then whoever's got the most points wins, and if there's a tie, whoever's got the most money wins the game. And that's basically how you play Wallenstein. So what do we like about Wallenstein? One of the things that we like about it is this combat is exceptionally simple. You're just scooping up all the attacking cubes in the region, scooping up all the defending cubes, scooping up all the cubes in the tray and lobbing them in and seeing what happens. And then what you do is you take like for like. So if there's, say, 4 of one and 3 of the other, you take 3 away of each, and then there's 1 left, and that's who wins, right? Okay. But one of the things we like about the combat mechanism is that when you throw cubes into the cube tower, because there's like sort of ridges or levels in the cube tower, you might be knocking other stuff out. You might end up having more stuff in the cube tray for the next action, or none at all. Or you might end up knocking the person who you're going to fight next into the cube tray. So yeah, we like that. It's really exciting. There's that feeling where you can either drop them in lightly, or you could chuck them in really vociferously. So yeah, that's really exciting. We really enjoy that, and it's always good. And that encourages the fact that people love chucking stuff into that cube tower. It encourages combat, and that's to be applauded. It's really good in this game, you know. So another thing is you look at it and you think, well, this is going to be a war game. It's going to be an area control game, but the fact that the majority of points come from building buildings means that, you know, that's not your top priority. Your top priority is getting those buildings out onto the board, and then controlling those buildings and making sure that you fortify those areas, those counties, well enough to not to deflect when somebody attacks, but to make people think twice about attacking you, right? So, you know, it's always good to have a palace and a big wedge of your own cubes around it. Maybe not in that region, but around it. So it makes it really difficult to sort of wade through water trying to get in there, yeah? So yeah, even though it looks like a war game, and it kind of is, that's not the primary aspect of this one, and that's really, really nice. We like that. So it's a really good game with 4 or 5 players, which is good. I don't know if we play it with 2 or 3. We haven't played it with 2 or 3 because you're going to have to start shrinking the map down, and we don't really ever like sort of blocking areas off. So yeah, it's really tight with 5. It's probably best with 5, and there's not a lot of room for manoeuvre. It's straight off the bat you're thinking, oh no, there's not. I think there's only 7 vacant counties when you first set up. So yeah, it's really, really tight. There's not a lot of room to move around, and that encourages people to get stuck in and have a scrap right off the bat. And we've done a playthrough of this one, so if you want to see how it plays, it's only the first half because otherwise it would have been too long. But yeah, if you want to have a look, see how the game works, then go and have a look at our 5-player playthrough of this one. So what don't we like about Wallenstein? Well, one of the things we found, and it's not a criticism of the game because it's a German game, it's a criticism of us being English, and we really struggle to pronounce some of these regions. I mean, they're really, really tough. I mean, I don't speak German, I don't write German, I can't pronounce German. Yeah, when you sort of when you're looking for those regions on the board, you're like, is it this or is it blah, 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 blah. You know, it's really tough for us to pronounce them, and you spend half your time sort of looking around the board thinking, well, where's this one, where's it? I know they're all colour coded, and you've even got that little map on the thing that tells you where it is, but it's so hard to tell. And you know that there's not really any way around it. That's just more of a criticism of us being lazy-minded. We struggled with the German pronunciation of some of the counties, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, another thing is that the variable setup that is probably encouraged in the rulebook just takes too long. You know, unless you're sort of you've played this a lot and you know where you're going, you can move this along. You know, the fact that you've got 2 cards revealed and you choose one or take one off the top of the deck, you're going round and round and round and round, and it just takes too long. And if you want to condense this game into a reasonable amount of time, say 2.5 to 3 hours, you can't do that, you know, unless you're sort of like a hardcore experienced player. But then, you know, why would you be listening to me waffle on about it? Just knock that on the head. Use the standard setup in the rule book, you know, and just leave it at that, because you know, games are for fun, aren't they? You play games for fun, not for us and about wasting time for no reason at all. I mean, you know, a few people when we played it, they didn't know what they were doing. They never played it, so it makes no difference to them. So yeah, just dump the variable setup if you want to keep the game to a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, this game, even though you know it's still just pushing cubes around, isn't it? You know, it's got that old dated cube pushing aspect of you know, war games, and that stuffy bloke on the front, that Wallenstein geezer. Even though it's still fresh to us, we still like it really a lot. You know, it's still essentially just it's a cube pusher, isn't it? And if you don't like Euro games and you don't like that sort of stuffy, that sort of style of Euro games, this ain't gonna, anything I say good about this game isn't going to change your mind, because it's that type of game and there's no getting away from that. So if you don't like that type of game, there's no hope. You're never going to like it. Yeah, the expansions in the big box version are a waste of time. There's no point in having a big box. There's no point in having a big box version of Wallenstein, because we're never going to play with the expansions. They're a complete waste of time. You know, we're never going to bother with them. It's good enough game as it is. In fact, it's a better game as it is. The expansions just muddle things up, and it's just no point. So, you know, having a big box version of this and with the expansions, a complete mismatch. There's no point. Just get the bog standard Wallenstein, or even the first edition, don't matter. They're the same type of game. They're the same game. So yeah, dump the expansions, dump the variable setup, and enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, another thing that's probably the main gripe about this one, and it's more of a criticism of me. I mean, you might not have any trouble, but we struggled to solidify in our pea-sized brains the rules for revolts. I kept thinking, like, you know, what do we do? I know when you tax and you take grain, you've got to put a revolt marker in the thing. And do you know what? I can't even remember now. We only played it Tuesday. Any game where rules don't stick, no matter how hard you try, where you've got to keep referring back to the book, back to the book, back to the book. You know, and you've got that chart, it's the revolt chart, and oh god, those sort of things where you're looking at charts. No, they could have streamlined it in the second edition. They could have got rid of that. But I mean, you might like it. We don't like it. So yeah, there's that. Some of the rules are a little bit fiddly and hard to remember. So to summarise, Wallenstein, is it worth your time in 2019? So all in all, yeah, I'd say yes. Yeah, Wallenstein is still a great game. It has kind of aged. I mean, it had the second edition not been released, it would have aged badly, the style and the look of it. Yeah, but the game itself still holds up today. It's one of them rare gems where it takes aspects of the traditional war game and it takes aspects of that area control El Grande type thing, and it mixes them together into a nice soup, you know, a really tasty soup. And you've got that cube tower which keeps everything really exciting. The combat's simple, the rules could be better, they could have been streamlined or cut out some of the nonsense. But yeah, Wallenstein, you know, it still looks really nice and colourful, and there's some really good choices, and it's a really good game where you can get stuck in and, you know, have a good fight, and everyone loves having a bit of a scrap, don't they, when they play board games. So yeah, Wallenstein, it is still one of the best games of its ilk, of its type, in 2019, and we definitely recommend it. You should check it out if you get the chance, if it's still available. So if you enjoyed this video, then please do us a favour and subscribe to the channel for more board games, card games, role-playing games, anything like that, any tabletop games, and we'll keep these videos coming. You know, we just want you to subscribe. We're doing this for you, not for me. And yeah, so yeah, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.